Welcome to Aqua Dragonlight for a continuation of the Taurus quarter moon energy. Although we are a few days beyond that now, the energies are still at play. Remember that astrology used here is natural house oriented, meaning that everyone has the same first house of Aries and 12th house of Pisces, etc. You can Google the my astrology chart and use one of the many free resources to find your personal chart and where the energies I talk about are in your personal chart, and so that you can layer them on if you want to do that. And I recommend that you do that. Cafe astrology is one. Astrology is all about layering, but natural houses create a level playing field where we're speaking to the species as a unit, as it were. We're all feeling the effects of the planetary energies in similar ways, and it's helpful to remember that at tense times right now, everyone else is feeling the many retrograde energies in process right now, and they're feeling many of the same tensions you are. So let's work on kindness and evolution as we go forward, as we get through this, because, we're all in this together. All right, moving on. Oh, please pause this now and go watch my previous video, Roll the Dice, if you have not already seen it, so you have the full reading. Be aware it will go dark at the end, kind of slowly, and stop abruptly. The back of my camera actually fell down halfway through and hung there. I couldn't see it. It was out of my vision, but it was interfering with what you could see, and I discovered that in editing. And I cut the video at a relatively decent point, best I could do, and reshot this part to recreate the ending. Okay? Cool. I wanted to do that quicker, but I had a medical mission that took an entire day, so we're getting it now. But I really feel it's important to do that because it's cool stuff. I'm going to light my sage and invite in spirit. And get some of that moving this way. Breathe. Guides, guardians, angels, bright beings of all kinds, deity, grandfather spirit, universal mother, you in whose veins flow the light of creation, be with us now in this space. Bring us your clarity and your grace. Thank you. In lieu of a prayer, we shall have a little poetry today. Vita brevis. A lifetime is more than sufficiently long for people to get what there is of it wrong. That's by my first favorite poet, Piet Hein, the Danish author of a little book I found when I was quite young, invitingly called Grooks. He was a Danish scientist, philosopher, mathematician, inventor, designer, author, and poet, and he understood brevity. A Grook is a short aphoristic poem like the one I just read, and this one, which will move us along. T, T, T. Put up in a place where all can see the cryptic admonishment. T, T, T. When you feel how depressingly slowly you climb, 'tis well to remember that things take time. Piet Hein is spelled P-I-E-T-H-E-I-N. He has many volumes of his little poems. Google Grooks, G-R-O-O-K-S, to find him easily. It's just wonderful stuff. And now, I don't want to miss the important stuff, so let's roll the dice once more. I do not have the dice. The dice are not here. So, must find the dice. Jupiter. We need Jupiter. Where is Jupiter? It's not like Jupiter to be hiding. We have to start this over. Wheel of Fortune, rolling the dice. One more time. Whew. Okay, let's roll the dice once more and get back to the reading where I left off. I had been through this chart, and we had talked about various alignments and sextiles. We had looked at the majors from the 8th House Tarot, and there's very interesting ones from that, many of them. We took a good look at those. And I drew 3 of them after we had looked at all of them and was relating them to the chart energies, relating to this first quarter moon in Taurus with the tag word of release control. So the 3 that I drew, Aries was at the bottom of the deck, which was very cool because new beginning energy. And let's repeat the last little bit about the 3 majors I drew: Gemini, the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and Mercury, the Magician. Let's repeat that last little bit to get us going here. I'll leave these over here for the moment. And really, go back and see how that played out, how I ended up with these guys. Go back and see how that played out, because in the previous video, if you really take the time to do that, it was such a blast. All right, so you are the Magician. You hold and used power, and you are Mercury. This is our 3rd house of Gemini. And it is ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini, rules communication, rules intellect, rules curiosity. So Mercury rules Gemini. So we'll stack them on top. So, and you're literally being given guidance to go there and make change from there. And how that works is you use Jupiter. This is Jupiter in Gemini. We are all being given guidance to use the abundance of Jupiter, luck, success, prosperity from Gemini to enter difficult conversations. It's a square to Saturn, seeking integrity and wholeness, sitting with Nessus, obsessive, holds on to things, to clean house. The Jupiter energy is really helpful for that, for going within. And the Venus energy helps too. Gemini has a mirror, the Lovers. There's a look in the mirror, figure out what needs to be shared and go for it feeling through all of this connected energy. It's really remarkable that I pulled 3 cards that are connected. Gemini, ruled by Mercury, with the only planet that is in it represented as well. You've got an abundance of energy here for you to grab, a lot of positivity to help you roll the dice to make something happen. And Aries is the place, the area of new beginning to make it happen in. And that's a really powerful message. Very simple, very straightforward. These are all in alignment. Very simple message. Now Taurus is next to Gemini. And it doesn't seem like it would be a player in this, but the make something clear in a relationship energy that I spoke of early in the other video is deeply connected to this Taurus time frame, because Venus, who is all about love, rules both Libra and Taurus. So there's a definite connection building in the South Node clearing new moon energy, which is kind of keen for the halfway point between the new moon and the full moon, in my opinion. So let's check back on that South Node group we talked about in the new moon in Virgo video. They're still up above the DC horizon line in Libra. Slightly different, but they're still there. Venus has moved on a bit, but she is still conjunct with divine feminine and commitment energy holder Juno. They're at 15 and 11 up here. Juno is conjunct to Maki Maki. Maki Maki focuses on right relationship through seeking within to find and utilize a strong moral compass to create right action, right relationship, even activism for furthering the culture's evolution. So 15, 11, and 9. Maki Maki can even talk to Venus. They're still in an orb together. Lilith, however, talking to Venus is too far of a reach. So what we have is an energy passage, passing the energy along, sort of like the old game of telephone. Venus, Juno, and Maki Maki sitting together and sharing Libran balance in the house of committed relationships this time is a pretty big deal. It's an energy that can look a lot like the healing environment of committed relationships. And that includes the relationship we have with ourselves. And there's a lot of Lilith in that. So the energy is being passed. Venus is talking to Juno, and Junus is talking to Maki Maki. Maki Maki they're having a little convo here. And the energy is passed from them down to Lilith at 8. And Lilith is sitting still conjunct the South Node. The group boost that they're giving her provides support to really clean house, seeking and releasing betrayal and resentment energy that has been stuck, which is what was spoken to through this process over here with Saturn and Jupiter, Gemini, squared conversation, releasing. It connects over to the sun. The sun is not a major player in this, except that it's talking about yourself in your personal 6th house. The sun has moved on. Sun moves very quickly. So it was just a reference at that point, bringing attention to the fact that this is about you, about your personal health, well-being, and about looking within yourself to change things that only you can do. Mars, down in moon ruled nurturing Cancer, is providing additional strength to get the task done. Action in any relationship generally means opening up, either in person or in therapy, and you're coming over here from Aries, again, the place of new beginnings. So it's a good time to look for new ways to open up. And that's what's really being called for here in Gemini. Rolling the dice. There's our dice. Rolling the dice, taking a chance, and really talking about unmet needs or wounds or things that you're holding on to, opening previously closed doors. Saturn cuts away anything that removes, that it brings integrity and takes away anything that impacts on wholeness negatively. So if it's going to defeat wholeness, Saturn is going to cut it away. At this time, you've got 2 conversations happening and a third, but this one we talked about in the previous video. You'll have to go back and look at that. But this is a time frame where you're being given direction to that literally sounds like, okay, look, you need to say, this is go and look within and find out what has been bothering you. Take a chance, open the doors, and then speak the truth. Okay, look, this has really been bothering me. It's messy and it's scary, but I need to talk about it. This is the time with these things that are playing out. This is the time. We are getting ready. This is the time. It's riding the new beginnings energy that we spoke to previously from the new moon lunation. And the light is getting brighter all the time on the moon, which is traveling in this area right now. And we want to enter the upcoming full moon and eclipse with everything cleared up so that we can take full advantage of the new manifestation opportunity on the upcoming harvest moon, full moon in Pisces, complete with a partial eclipse. It's a really big deal. It's changing the axis. We were having full moons on this axis. This axis, Aries, Leo, Aquarius, and we're now moving into this axis. And it's going to be a lot, all the lunations primarily ahead of us are going to be on that axis. So it's an axis changing time where Pluto is in Capricorn very briefly. And we have this group still releasing energy that is basically deeply stuck, darkness, and over here as well, There's a conversation that you can have. You have to make that conversation happen in the with these squared energies. You have to do the work. I mean, you're going to have to reach out and do the work. This isn't easy flow like a trine. These are squares. They are conversations, but you have to enter them. You have to roll the dice, and you have to step through the door and have a new beginning and be the emperor, rule your own life. And it's really cool that you have all of these, Venus and Mercury and Gemini alignments to help you. And all of us are very fortunate in that way. We just need to take the opportunities. So that's we're at a powerful time for moving stagnant energy. And we have a chance to do some really neat stuff. So that's the message I'm getting. Let's just do it. The numeric number of these cards is 17, which is an 8. And I love 8s. The lemniscate, it's the sign of infinity. Another balancing, new beginning indicator. So 8. It's the 7 and 1 on that axis, another new balancing indicator. 8th house over here, it's in Scorpio. And what I like about that, Scorpio, I don't know if I brought it over here. I don't think I did. Scorpio has a cool card that is a dying rose. Scorpio, something has to die to be reborn. The end of the season, Scorpio, the bloom has to die off, and then you have rose petals, and they have their own use. And then it grows new blossoms again next year. But dying and reborn in a relationship so that you can improve a relationship happens by communication. We do that by sharing, we do that by releasing, and we do that by manifesting change that we have created through the work that we do. And we have a wonderful opportunity to do that with Libra and all this energy. The 6th house, the upcoming full moon in Virgo, Pisces, is those two are going to connect, and we need some Saturn energy, bringing wholeness. That's appropriate for right now too. And so all of these are good things. We can use all the help we can get in this time frame. So let's do the work. Let's all of us. Let's each do the work. That's all we're going to do tonight. I will pull you a card from the Kyle Gray Angels and Ancestors Oracle Cards decks. It's a favorite of mine. This is the 8th House Tarot that I was using, so that you can have a look at that. This is a really superior Oracle deck with wonderful images of many kinds of guidance. And I'm pulling you a season. Autumn. It says, release the old and rest. And I love how that pairs with release control. Release the old and rest has some very nice things to say, a lot of them, and they're really quite extensive. The guidance is quite extensive on these cards. There's a lot of reading. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to tell you that other than here, release the old and rest, which ties everything together for us, and the raven with the fall leaves in a compass circle with the moon, it beautifully adds to what we've been saying. It's a time of shedding. Leaves tell us this is a time of shedding, and a card that references allowing space for renewal to enter, like you're being guided by your angels to release what is holding you back, as the trees do in the fall. It concludes with, the reading in the book concludes with, when the autumn card arrives as the last card in a reading, it can indicate that the coming autumn will usher in important energies with regards to your question or intentions. And we are right in a perfect timing for that. As a closing prayer, I'm going to read you what is printed inside the beautiful box. It comes with an intention on the inside, and I will read that. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned tonight from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. And that is an intention that I put a lot of weight behind, that we all grow. That's what I hope. I'm going to relight my sage here. I wish I had a more magical sounding relighting sage thing. All right, you can be that way. I'm going to have to look into a more magical sage opportunity device. Guides, guardians, angels, bright beings of all kinds, deity, grandfather, spirit, universal mother, thank you for being with us. You are free to go or stay as you wish. We appreciate the time you shared with us. I thank all of you for being with me, for joining me tonight for the second half of this reading. Taurus, releasing control and releasing the old and resting. I look forward to seeing you soon to talk about Eris. I mentioned that in the previous video. I'm very excited about a video I'm working up on Eris. Keep an eye out for that. And then I hope you will come back and join me for the full moon in Pisces. I will do another video for that and the eclipse, hopefully with no technical difficulties and some amount of brevity, because that's a goal. And finally, if you happen to need a miracle right now, I'm leaving one here just for you. Thank you. Leave a comment or a like if you can. Check out my other videos if you wish. I love hearing from you. Be blessed. Good night from Aqua Dragon Light.